Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be going over our comprehensive review for Talon Grips. Now first, let me explain my experience with Talon Grips. I've been using them for about 2 or 3 years on a variety of weapon systems. We have the M&P Shield here, an AR-15. We've used them on the SD9 VEs, the 9 compacts, and also Glock 19s. So we've had a long testing period with a variety of weapons. We've also been able to test them in several different environments. We started out our testing for about 1.5 years on the West Coast. So we use that in California deserts with temperatures ranging up to about 105 degrees with no humidity. Then I got orders out here to Virginia, and we were able to test the weapons in freezing conditions with high humidity. So we got a good spread on different weapon systems, different conditions, and over a long period of time. Now, before we get into it, let me explain that Talon did provide all these grips, but we're still going to give you an honest review, and to prove that, we're going to start off with the cons. So I only have 3 cons for these grips. First off, the granulate sucks. Now that doesn't make much sense to you now, but basically they make 2 different types of grips. This here is the rubberized version. It feels like the bottom of a shoe, very effective. And then they make what they call their granulate grip. Now it's just like this, same shape and everything, except it feels like sandpaper. It's like a very high quality skateboard tape. Now we've used about 10 people to test these because I didn't want to just give you my opinion. And about 9 out of 10 people really were not fans of the granulate. They felt that it was too rough on their hands, and when they concealed the weapon, it started rubbing against their appendix or their back, wherever they carried it, and it kind of gave you some sort of chafing. So not a lot of people were fans of it, so that's my first con. Secondly, slight peeling. Now this is something I was very worried about when I first started using the grips, and it really turned out to not be a big deal. Of all the grips I installed, about 1/4 of them had this slight peeling going on here. It's very hard to see. After about 1 year or 2, the rubber starts to come off just a tad bit. Now you can just press it back on and use a heat gun to reapply it. It's really not a big deal, but it is a con. It doesn't affect your shooting at all, but it is kind of annoying, so that's something I'd look out for. Finally, the third con is just overall the AR-15 grips. Now I feel like it was a good idea in theory, but in practice it's not necessarily something that I would purchase as a civilian. Now for military markets, this is something that I would have liked to have in the field on my M16. There are several times where I couldn't feel my hands because they're too cold or covered in snow or whatever, and it would have been nice to have that extra purchase on my weapon. But unless you're like a really intense 3-gun shooter, you're probably not going to need to have that much grip on your AR-15. Luckily, it's such a low cost that it's not really a major investment. So overall, I feel like these grips are for a specialized market that doesn't really meet the necessities of the gun world. Now we'll hop into the pros. First off, they're very cheap. Now these run about 15 to 20 bucks a pair. They'll last you several years. I've yet to have one completely fail on me, so I've seen no need to actually replace them. So about 15 to 20 bucks. The shipping is very cheap because they come in little envelopes, and they come with everything you need to do to install them, which is our next pro, is that it's an easy install. You don't have to go to a gunsmith to have these thrown on. You can do them yourself. The only thing you need is a heat gun. I used a hairdryer and it worked fine. They also add quite a bit of value to the firearm, and I don't mean literal value, I mean in performance. Now, once you grip this firearm, you can tell that you're going to be able to manage your recoil a lot more effectively. Now, they also make them for a variety of weapons, which is very nice. And if you don't see the weapon that you have on their website, I would contact them because I always see that they're making new types of stuff. As you can tell, for AR-15s, they've got grips, which is showing that they're really willing to make them for any weapon. And finally, it just works. It's something that I would highly recommend. It's my favorite upgrade for a handgun. It's the first thing I recommend just because of the cost effectiveness of it. Not a lot of people, once you buy your gun, can go drop 300 bucks on sights or 200 bucks on a trigger, but almost everybody can drop 15 bucks to improve their grip. Now, if you guys have any questions or comments, drop them below. Let me know if you're thinking about using Talon grips, or if you have any other types of grips that you prefer, and maybe we can get our hands on them and test them. I also might be posting a CS gas, also known as tear gas video. If you guys want to check that out, let me know. Post below and I'll make it for you. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day.